again, want to ask a lot of questions. We're here to learn about informational interviewing. So questions is a big part of it. This isn't like a job interview where you're the focus of the interview. It's the opposite. This is an opportunity for you to speak and question a professional, in this case, Todd Kohlman from Burton, in a field that you're interested in to see if it'd be a good fit for you. So now that we've got all the housekeeping out of the way, let me introduce Todd. So Todd Kohlman has been with Burton Snowboards for over 18 years. He has experience in a multitude of positions at the company, from sales to manufacturing and now to archiving. His passion for snowboarding, Burton, and having fun come through in every conversation we've had with Todd. So we're really excited to show you today. So hi, Todd. How's it going?
Doing great. Thank you for joining today.
Excellent. Well, tell us, what have you got going on behind you?
We're going to be building a board here today. So Thunder, right here, can you guys see okay, is going to be putting together a board for you. And so we can start right away. First, we have the,
I just want to make sure that, judging how long it is, let me know. So we've got some time to talk about your career path and how you got where you were with the kiddos.
Yeah, it's probably about 15 minutes or so.
Perfect. That'll be great.
Okay, great. Good, thanks. So Thunder has the base, the very bottom of the snowboard down already, and the metal edge in place. So we're going to build it like a sandwich, starting with the bottom, working our way to the top. So we use a 2-part epoxy resin. So he's getting his glue, his resin all set here. And he's got gummy material in his hand. That gummy material is going to help the bond between the different layers of material, connecting metal to plastic, etc.
For my viewing, I need to see a little bit lower to see the snowboard. Does everybody else a little tiny bit? See, I think there, that's pretty good. Now we can see everything that's going on.
Great, thank you. So every snowboard is built this way. It's really an art what they do, putting each piece in together. It's not like they press a button and it pops out the other end. So like I said, this is gummy material he's placing around the metal edge, and that's going to help the bond between different material.
So Todd, were you ever in the part where you did the building of the snowboards the way that Thunder's doing right now?
I've never been a builder, but I've probably seen more than most people being built though. So I've had my share.
Sure.
Todd,
Thunder's been doing it for how long? About 16 years Thunder's been doing this.
Oh, wow.
This is fiberglass that he just put down. More glue.
While we're doing it, do you mind if I ask you some other questions, Todd?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Or is that too distracting?
No,
okay?
That's perfect. Perfect.
Okay, cool. So, you know, what we're doing is trying to figure out how did you get there? That's what our main wish is, right? So can you tell me a little bit about your career path and what led you to where you're at today? Okay, cool.
For sure. I started in October of 2002 in customer service. Just entering data and scanning and shipping invoices, and helped with Proform. And then we worked in rider service, which is on the phones for the consumers call in, and did spare parts. Spare parts are, you know, if they bonding parts or whatever, if something's broken, they can ship them out to the consumer. Did dealer service, and that was, you know, working with the shops, and than archives. So now it's been almost 18 years.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been
That's
over
great.
18 actually. So
Oh, wow. That's great. So what's
Thunder's
Thunder
putting
doing now?
some
Yeah.
carbon in here. So carbon's nice and light and adds a lot of pop to the board. So he did stringers, carbon 45s, and a uni glass of it.
Wow. All right. Well, let's see here. What does a regular workday look like for you?
A regular workday really varies from just checking in product that we're saving in archives. You know, we pretty much place an order that saves one of everything, not every colorway, but every style. And so I'm checking in that stuff constantly. Different tours, different requests from, say, the magazines or whatnot of old images, and just helping out wherever I can. I help the photo studio if they need help with different projects as well.
Do you get a lot of requests like that? People like from the magazines wanting to see stuff, and you have to
Yeah,
go.
yeah. Right now, there's like 2 history projects that I worked on. It's like a book for Jake, and we're working on a HBO movie with Jake as well. So like old materials. Yep.
Oh, wow, definitely.
Yeah, unfortunately, Jake passed away last year, but we'll never forget Jake. He really um, created this whole company and built it from the ground up, from his garage into the company it is today.
Mhm.
So this is a wooden core, the kind of the meat of the sandwich. We use different types of wood and run the grain in different directions to help give it more strength. And we're going to be adding what we call the channel to add your bindings to it. And that'll come in a second. That's an aluminum hollow channel. I got one right here. This is what we call the channel. So we put this in the board, and then we cut it open at the end. And then your bindings connect to it.
And it's right in the board. That's
Yep,
great.
right in the board. Yep.
Excellent. What do you think that you enjoy the most about the work that you do?
You know, I really like the on tours, like meeting new people and just sharing Burton's history with them, and working with the photo studio crew. Just there's a really good crew in there, and you know, helping them on different projects. I enjoy that. So I just working with people, I'd say, is one of the highlights.
Excellent. So you were telling us a little about the projects that you're doing with HBO and with the book. Are there any other projects that you're working on right now, or those seem like they're pretty big ones?
Yeah, those are the 2 big ones. Yeah, just that's mainly it right now.
Mm-hmm. What do you think that's something that surprised you about your role when you first started?
When I first started, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I just I wanted to work for Burton, and just willing to do anything, you know, sweep the floor to work here, just whatever it took. And it just meeting all the people with like-minded passion, and just it really surprised me, the culture here at Burton, that so many people are so passionate about riding, and obviously the process that goes along with it, getting it on snow to the consumer. So yeah.
Yeah. What was your path? What did you do for school to sort of get ready for this kind of?
Yeah, totally. I went to the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh in Wisconsin, and I actually ended up with a marketing major and a Japanese minor. So that was my schooling.
Mm-hmm. So what's going on now?
We're about halfway done. Thunder's getting more glue, resin, and he's applying some more strength to the channels. Some hard glass.
Oh, we've got a question from
Yeah.
the chat. Why did you choose a Japanese minor?
I actually got interested in speaking Japanese through at 1996, the Craig Kelly snowboard camp. Craig was a legendary rider that had this camp up in British Columbia, and I met a lot of Japanese campers, and they were kind of separated from the U.S. and Canadian campers because of the language barrier, and I just started hanging out with the Japanese riders and started learning a little bit of Japanese. So the next semester of school in the university, I decided to take a class and learn more. And so it just kind of through snowboarding, it just, my interest sparked on Japanese language. And I've been to Japan 4 times now. We have an office over in Japan, so we're definitely a global company. And it works out good when we have the office members from Japan coming over here to, you know, kind of welcome them with the language and whatnot. So, I mean, I'm a little rusty for sure, but it's, it helps to kind of break down the barrier.
Oh, I bet, definitely. Let's see.
So he's getting more carbon right now to add to the board.
So is that like carbon fiber?
Yep, carbon fiber. Yep. And this is fiberglass.
Mm-hmm.
So he has about 10 to 15 minutes to get this board done to the press. And we'll show you the press, but he's got to get it there because the resin's starting to do its stuff.
Okay. What sort of skills do you think are useful for someone who's interested in a job like yours? Like that the students that are watching could be working on, or
I think like organizational skills and also like spreadsheets and stuff, like just being able to work with the different spreadsheets with all the different product that I check in, and just, you know, daily things like being on time and stuff like that as well is really important.
Mm-hmm. So like office skills, like
Yep.
a general idea about those would be really useful.
Yeah.
Okay. This is pretty amazing to watch. We get to see the inside of it, and no one will ever see that again, just us.
No. Like I said, every board is done by hand, so it's really an art what they do. Here's the top sheet of the board, the very top of the board.
Okay.
So it comes out like a big rectangle, and then they have to cut off the excess material from the board.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's pretty cool. You guys have office dogs that come in?
Yep. We have Otis is the dog over here. That's Thunder's dog. So he's here to keep us in line.
How many boards do you think Thunder will make in a day?
About 8 to 10 if he if they're cranking, you know, for team boards or whatnot. If he was in like regular production mode, like say that, see this is a team rider board, but if they were doing regular production, they would shoot between 25 and 30 a day. But the riders boards, each one is different, different sizes and different cavities you need for the press. So it goes a little slower when you're doing different individual boards.
Excellent. We have a question from the comments too. How much does one board cost to build?
You know, I don't know the cost for board to be built. It's expensive, you know, the mold and whatnot. So it's not real cheap. That's why that and the hand labor put into the board makes it the price that it is in the store. Good question.
Can you tell us a little bit about workplace expectations and, of course, having a dog at work? You know, tell us a little bit about what it's like, what is expected in a day from the different workers.
Oh yeah.
Like even really basic stuff. This is for, you know, someone who hasn't had a job before, maybe.
Yeah, just being reliable, you know, being there on time, and just being positive to work with other people, and flexible, and just a real nice culture with the dogs here. And also, if it snows, we sometimes get to go ride in the morning and then just work late and get your stuff done. So it's a really nice company culture here.
Yeah, it does. It seems like it's really worker oriented. That's great.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so we can go to the press. We'll show you how it's gets cured.
Excellent.
Okay, thanks.
So this is a pretty big operation when you look at all the machines that you have.
Yeah, we have a 10,000 square foot facility here. So this is the kind of essentially like an oven. You put it in the press, and the hot water comes through the cavity. It warms up between 80 and 90 degrees Celsius, and it stays in here for roughly 13 minutes. We have 75 to 80 PSIs of pressure coming down on it. Any excess glue or excess stuff will come out the sides. And yeah, 13 minutes, it's done.
Oh, wow. So it just presses and cooks it at the same time to get it.
Yep. Yeah, totally.
Excellent. Do you know how many employees there are at that location?
Yeah, we have about 400 employees here.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many of them like make the boards? Do you know?
In Craig's, we have a group about like 10 people that is devoted to building the boards.
Excellent. All right. Let me ask you a few more questions. Let's see.
Yeah.
Are we at a point where we could see you again?
Yep,
or is
totally. I can. There we go.
Awesome.
I can walk into the museum. Thanks, Thunder.
Hey, you're welcome.
I'll walk into the museum, and it's a place we could talk a little more.
Okay, that sounds great.
And Todd, while you're walking, can you explain to the kids why you love working at Burton? Because I know Ryan and others just joined in. They're snowboarders.
Yeah, I really love the culture here at Burton. Just everyone like-minded, you know, passionate about snowboarding, and being able to get out together on snow is really fun with the different departments. And we have like ride days. So we had last week at Bolton Valley a ride day where we could go together and ride it was Wednesday at Bolton Valley. So that was pretty sweet. Just the company day that you get paid to get to snowboard. So that for one day you could say you're almost a sponsored rider in a way.
Yeah, definitely. Excellent. Let's see. What do you think is the hardest job? What do you think you enjoy the least?
I think, you know, I really don't have too much I don't like about my job. Honestly, it's just a dream come true to work here. You know, some days I guess like just checking in the product can be, you know, kind of monotonous, but I still love it, you know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you think there's a personality type that's maybe suited for your kind of career, or someone who might not be suited for that kind of a career?
I think could be a people person for being like with the tours and whatnot. I think that helps, you know, kind of having the social skills. But yeah.
Okay, excellent. Was there anything that you could show us in the museum? Can you
Yeah,
think of
absolutely.
anything that would be fun for us to see?
Yeah, for sure. Let me get the lights to turn on real quick in here. There we go. I like to show Jake's writing, his notebooks. That's copy for the first catalog in there. His prototypes. So he did, in the beginning, he did 100 different prototypes, all different sizes, shapes, materials, experimenting with like different sizes and shapes. And he really, it really shows his passion. Even before he sold the board, he did 100 different prototypes.
Wow. Will you tilt it down just a tiny bit more?
Oh, you bet, for sure.
That's cool. So he did 100 prototypes just to do them.
Yeah.
Figure out what works best. Wow.
Yeah. Amazing. He started jackets and pants in 1984, and that's a drawing in the background there that has his first one piece, like the jacket and pant connected together.
Mm-hmm.
So
Excellent.
there's a lot of great riding shots of Jake. Here, this is him at just the Stratton dump, the landfill. At this time, the snowboarders weren't allowed at the resorts yet, so Jake and different people helped get snowboarding accepted at the resorts. There, let me shut this door just for noise. There we go. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah.
Our first high back, 1984 here. This is the thing that goes behind your leg to help you turn.
Okay.
And then in 1985, metal edges started in the board. So it was more like a modern board that you see here on the right side. That you ski type of technology with the metal edge, the PTEX, and whereas before it was all wooden boards.
I've got another question from the comments.
For sure.
Do you have to work for Burton in order to draw the design for a board, or can you be someone that Burton asks to draw the design for boards?
You could be your own graphic designer and do that. And you don't have to work at Burton to do a graphic. We work with artists all over the world, different graphic designers. So yeah, you don't have to be right here in Vermont. You could be anywhere. We work with artists in Japan and all over the world.
Wow, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do you think some of the biggest challenges you face day to day are?
I think you know, it's just kind of like in this COVID time, it's been a little challenging as far as the workers aren't really coming into the office. So you know, everything's like through Zoom meetings and whatnot. So it's a little different where I like to see the people in person. So I think it's just been a little challenging with COVID times, but we've had to kind of reshape our company a little bit. Our emphasis is more on direct sales online versus stores and whatnot. So it's COVID's really kind of shifted that emphasis.
Sure, yeah. When you were working as in sales, like when you first started, what were some things that helped you move up? What were some things that helped it so that you were able to continue to move up within the company?
I think just being, you know, flexible to do work on different projects, you know, and just being positive, you know, as much as, you know, you can be just flexible and very positive. be working with other people and whatnot.
Sure. What are some of the different positions at Burton? You said there was like 400 people there. What do
Yeah.
folks do?
There's everything from graphic designers to like accounting. There's like the legal side of things as well. Human resource. There's where you know through the hiring of process, different employees and benefits. There's hard goods and soft goods. So like hard goods is boards, boots, bindings, and soft goods is jackets, backpacks, gloves and mitts and all that. So there's really a lot of different areas one could work at Burton.
Excellent. Let's see. I've got another question from the comments.
Yeah.
This was to do with the designing a board or
Yep.
designing the graphics. So this is, how does the process work? Does Burton look for artists that they like, or do you apply to draw for a board?
We usually look for artists out there, but you know, you could also be proactive and you know, maybe send some graphics to like the front desk and whatnot, you know, for stickers and whatnot. But like getting your foot in the door that way, where if you like come work in the store or warranty, and then branch out after that to different areas of the company. But so just trying to keep your art going and get it out there as much as possible.
Sure, sure. Let's see. What are some things that you wish you'd known when you were starting out in this career?
I think that just knowing that you're going to be working a lot in your life, so you might as well choose something that you love to work with. So that's why I chose Burton, so I can work with my passion.
Great. All right, folks, I'd love to have you guys ask some questions. Anybody in the audience got some more questions to ask Todd? Feel free to type them in if you're thinking of something. And this is really, you know, for you guys to find out all about it. So don't think any questions are too small or too big. We should give them a try. While you're thinking about it, let's see. Todd, where do you see yourself in sort of 5 to 10 years? Do you think you'll still be with Burton, or what sort of things?
I plan to be the historian and stay here as long as possible, just helping share the history of the company. We have it's 42-year-old company, and you know, it's had a great history.
Great. Do you think that part of the reason for your success with the company, do you know, I'm thinking about the relationships that you were talking about that you started even when you were at snowboarding camp. Do you think that part, tell me a little bit about that.
I think like networking, like getting to meet people through different things is like riding together, and just like the camp actually helped me get my foot in the door, because there was riders that I got to meet that helped put my name in the door to get started here at Burton. So yeah, I'd say, you know, you're never too early to start like doing different things with shops, and just getting your name out there and networking. Because Jake actually brought up my name to work in archives, so it was neat to get selected through the owner to help out. Oh, I think you're on mute. Oh, there we go.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
How did he get to know you? Was it?
Yeah, through the front desk. The front desk.
Really?
Yeah, when I worked at the front desk, just getting to know him that way.
Excellent. We've got another question in the comments. Can you tell us a little more about the Burton in Japan?
Oh, sure. We have an office in Tokyo, and we have there's probably about 100 people that work out of that office, and so we've been working there in Japan since 1985, so a long time. The office is kind of similar here, but there's no building of snowboards or anything there. But there's marketing. They have their own marketing team, and different, like there's accounting and everything over there and whatnot. So it's kind of like a little bit of a mini office compared to here, I guess. This is the global office here.
Are there any other locations where people make boards?
Yeah, in Innsbruck, Austria. So that we have a headquarters in Innsbruck. That so about 20 to 30 minutes away from there is where most of the manufacturing, over about 70% of the manufacturing is done there. And we have some in China as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Here's another question.
Okay.
What's your favorite mountain that you've ridden?
I'd say either Jackson Hole or else Mount Baker, Washington. Those are my two favorites.
Yeah.
Jackson is really, really steep, and Mount Baker is kind of like a skateboard park. There's just natural hits and everywhere, and it's really fun. So those are my two favorite spots.
Excellent. Good to know.
Ryan, do you have any questions for Todd? Because normally Ryan would be going up with us, Todd, to see you, and he loves to snowboard. So Ryan,
nice.
Ryan, I'm cold calling you, honey.
Okay.
Maybe Ryan's having some technical problems.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else that has a question like that? You can ask pretty much anything. Oh, here's another one. Xavier asks, do they have any graphic designing in Japan, or is it all marketing and advertisement?
The graphics are done here in Burlington. So for global graphics, they're done right here. We work with artists, in Japan, but the actual graphic is finalized right here in the office in Vermont.
Have you ever worked at any of the other offices?
Yeah, I worked at the Tokyo office for just a couple weeks. It was really great to be in a different culture with, my coworkers, and just it's really a different world in Japan. It's a really cool place.
And Todd, we have an array of students that want to go into business. One wants to go into making. One wants to do writing. One wants to do some engineering.
Oh, great.
One wants to travel. What do you say to those seniors that are getting ready to graduate from high school? Any words of wisdom, or
Yeah,
you've done something?
I would just work as hard as you can now, sharpen those tools that you're learning to, you're going to need them in the office when you get there. Everything you learn today will be used in the future. So kind of work hard, and then you can play hard, later in life with snowboarding.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, I think you're on mute again. So no worries.
Technology.
Yeah, don't worry.
Xavier asked again, can you ask us, or do you know a list of the artists from Japan that you've worked with? Do you know any of the artists' names or anything like that?
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember offhand the names of artists in Japan that we've worked with, but we definitely have worked with some Japanese artists in the past. Yeah.
What do you, when you're thinking about the stuff that's in the archive with you, what do you think? Do you have like a top 3 or other favorites? That you have?
My favorites are Jake's prototypes, the boards that he created in the beginning to help start the company. And And then I have a few boards that are my favorite as the years went by. Like there's a rider called Terry A. Hawkinson and his first pro model. I really like that graphic. And Jeff Brushy, another famous rider, like his graphic from 1993. And so there's like some favorite jackets I have, you know, like 1995, one with a stripe on the arms and stuff. So I have a lot of different favorites. It's kind of hard to pick.
Oh, that's great. Definitely. Let's see here. Oh, Xavier, I was just gonna let you, he wasn't sure of any of the names of the artists. So yeah. Xavier had just lost connection from it. He was asking that in the chat.
Gotcha.
Alexander asks us, who do you think is the best rider of all time? That something.
Yeah, totally. I'd say Terry A. Hawkinson is the best rider of all time. He's got like the statistics from the competitions all the way to the filming that he's done in his career. And he still wins like the Mount Baker Bank Slalom pretty much every year. So he's a legend. I'd say Terry A. Hawkinson. Yep. But there's many. You know, Shaun White's up there, and you know, like Mark McMorris is adding to that legendary status, and Kelly Clark, a Vermonter, she is definitely a legend, and so there's a lot of many greats out there for sure.
Wonderful, that's good to know. Definitely. Yeah. I'm sure you get asked that one a lot. It's a tricky one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You had so many, it sounds good.
And, I have different favorite ones. They come through the office here at least once a year, so it's pretty cool to get to meet the riders as they come through, and they work hands-on with their feedback for the company. You know, whether it be different graphics on their board, or else you know, different designs of jackets and pants and stuff. So the professional riders are really the ones that are kind of driving where our company is headed.
Nice. That's great that they have that much involvement.
Yeah, it's really key.
Do you think that the board that Thunder was making might be done?
Yeah, let's go check it out. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
cool.
Totally. Absolutely.
And Todd, some of the programs that we've done for manufacturing, it's usually an older gentleman's age. What's the average age group that you're hanging out with and working with? Is it a young hip group, or it's grandfathery?
It's more of a young, I'd say in their 20s are most of our employees. So I'm 43 now, so I'm getting a little older, but yeah, it's a very youth-driven company. Great question. Let's go see if Thunder is, hey Otis.
So for our students that are participating, use the feature and raise your hand. How many of us would love to work at a place like Burton, knowing how Todd's described it? You don't have to raise it, but think about, do you want to work with an age group that you feel like is a cultural fit? Or do you feel like you want to have more diversity? Because a lot of us thought of Burton just as making snowboards, but it's an actual business.
Mm-hmm. Got a lot of hands up. Todd, do you know how many riders you sponsor? How many riders Burton sponsors?
We have riders all over the world, so it's in like the hundreds.
Oh wow!
You know, but like the global team is more like 20 people or so. Then they'd be on our website. Thunder wants to show you something that we do to every board. It's called the Infinite Ride Machine, and it breaks in a board so that it's more consistent flex throughout your season.
You point it down just a little tiny bit more?
Yep. Oh, there we are. Can you see it?
Oh, yeah. So that breaks it in? Tell me a little bit more about what that means. Like,
what's that?
Does that mean that it's more comfortable to ride or it turns
Yeah,
better?
it's all set. Like the fiberglass needs to be broken in so that it just consistent flex throughout the season. If we didn't do this, it'd be like in the beginning, it'd feel stiffer, and then it would get less stiff as you more repetition of riding. So it just gets it to be more consistent flex. And it's also quality control, because if it broke, naturally we'd catch it there.
That's true. You wouldn't want that to happen.
No. Hey, Thunder, do you think we could open the board in the cavity? Is that? Yep. We'll go over to the press and break out the board.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, so it's still like the big rectangle?
Yep, still a big rectangle. Let's see here.
Wow.
So the next step is cutting it open, the excess material off. You think you could do that? That'd be awesome, buddy. So he's gonna cut off the excess material. Let's see. Let's see.
That's a pretty good angle, yeah.
Okay.
And Todd, what kind of design's going to go on it? I see there's the old record insert in the back of it.
Yeah, it has a die cut of the air symbol. We call that the air symbol, and that's like a freestyle board type symbol from back in the early 90s.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty plain blank base, black, but the top sheet has a bear on it. So we'll show you the top sheet after he cuts the excess material off.
Oh, that's great.
I know, we send a big thank you to Thunder for letting us watch him here.
Oh
This is
yeah,
great.
I think he enjoys it too. He loves it.
Oh, good.
Battery. You just got to get a different battery for the drill or the jigsaw. There we
Sure.
go.
And Todd, can you talk to the kids that are riders about how they can actually commission and make their own board?
Oh yeah. Just maybe 1 second. Just one
Yeah.
second.
Thunder, what prior experience did you have with hand tools? Did you take good old-fashioned wood shop, or do you love tinkering?
He loves tinkering. He learned on the job.
That's great.
Are all these machines made for Burton, Todd, do you know?
Yes, that's a great question. We designed all the machines in the house to help us in building the boards. Sorry, Otis. That's a really important factor, is that building different things like the infinite ride machine, the one you saw before, different machines to help the process go along smoothly. Thanks, Thunder. You're welcome. So here's the final board here. The channels aren't open yet. Can you see it? I'm trying to line up the
Yeah,
camera.
a little bit lower, I think we
Lower.
can see it. I can see the bear. Yep.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. So you had
Excellent.
another question before. I'm sorry, I don't. Do you remember what the question was?
Let's see. Michelle, I think you were asking that question. Do you?
Kind of any training that Thunder had, but you know what I would love to ask Todd? You
Yeah.
know, the kids have been learning about, you know, workplace safety, or they will be. How
Yeah.
has wearing a mask impacted your workflow, or, you know, with COVID?
Yeah, it's challenging to wear the mask around here at the office, but we have to do that just like you do when you go out in public. It's the same in here. Just safety first. Most of us are getting vaccinations next week, so we're excited about that.
Great.
It's great.
How much room for error is there when Thunder does the cuts? Like, he just did it freehand.
Yeah, he's leaning his weight into the metal edge to help the blade line up correctly with it. So it's definitely a skill to have to cut it out. It's challenging. I always get nervous with that part.
Oh, here's the question that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Can you order a custom design? How does that work?
Yeah, that's something we're working on right now, actually, is custom designs. We're going to have online where you can choose from different graphics and then have your board being built here. So that's something we used to offer it a long time ago, where you could submit your own graphics and put it on the board. But that is something that's coming back.
Cool.
Good question.
So folks, do you have any other questions for Todd?
We could go into the 3D printer area too, if you want, just to check it out real quick. I don't know if you want. Okay.
We've got about 10 minutes left, or
Okay.
well, just under.
That'll be great, Todd, because the kids go to Generator to make things while
Oh, sick.
post-COVID. So it'll be good for them to see that connection. Oh my God, absolutely.
Cool. All right. So our 3D printer zone, we have a 3D printer printing goggles right now. See, I'm trying to line the computer up. Can you see it okay?
Yeah, that's perfect.
So we're able to build different prototypes, within a day, and get them on snow and test them. We can actually make rideable parts, like binding parts to ride on snow, and they're production quality strength. So you can, the designers, the engineers, they work in SolidWorks and Siemens NX. So they create a 3D file, send it over here, and then we can actually grow it for them right here.
Wow, that's great.
There's another machine right over here. Let's see here.
So our folks who want to go into engineering, think of engineering as being crafty and being exposed to this type of technology. And then all you writers and designers, you give the engineers your design, and then they can build it and give you feedback. This is great.
So I've got one more question from the chat.
Yeah,
Say an
totally.
artist wanted to submit a design for a custom board. Would Burton automatically say yes, or are there requirements to have a custom board design?
There would be requirements. They would have to kind of be chosen from the graphic designers in-house team. And then it would go through steps like the riders would get their feedback and sales would get their feedback to different departments and then get chosen for that. You know, it usually starts off with like 20 ideas and then it gets whittled down to one for the final graphic. So, yeah, you'd have to get chosen.
Yeah. Do you think with the new ideas that you were coming out with maybe coming up with custom boards, do you think it'll be the same process?
Yeah. The custom, I'm not sure if we're going to have custom where you can do your own graphic or just select from existing files. I haven't heard the latest yet, what's going to happen with that program, but within a couple months, I should be able to have better answer for that one. So.
Sure. Excellent. Well, does anybody else have any more questions for Todd?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So who tests out like your products? Like if you're making a new product?
Great question.
Yeah.
We have testers all over the world. And so Mark Bradsell, who works, he's in charge of the testers. He collects all their data. So like we'll send a new board to somebody, you know, in Japan or somebody in New Zealand or Chile or, you know, right here in Vermont. And then we'll test that, like say Stowe or Smugs. And you give your feedback, like say you got 40 hours on this board or 40 hours on these pair of bindings. These are the temperatures I rode in. This is the conditions I rode in. And this is, you know, how I feel about the board. And so we have testers all over the world. It's a popular position to be a tester because getting free gear is pretty sweet.
I bet it's a great deal.
Yeah.
Someone would like to know, Alexander would like to know, how can you become a tester?
That's that's a good question. You know, we have testers just chosen already, but as they're getting older, we're probably looking for new testers. So it would be through like the reps, and you could get to know like the reps out there in your local shops and just kind of like get your name, almost like being a sponsored rider. You could get selected to test product through getting your name out there, I'd say. Just
Wonderful.
Being a really strong rider.
Todd, are there any questions you can think of that I should have asked that we didn't get a chance to? Is there anything you want to make sure that we impart before we head out?
No, I think it's just important to know that everything you can study today could be used to fulfill your dreams. If you're, you know, just following your passion, that you're going to have to work a lot probably in your life. So you might as well do it with something that you love to do. So just kind of work hard, and then later you get to like play hard, you know, through snowboarding, etc.